latest consumer price index numbers for January show inflation has dropped to 2.4% and has President Trump touting Americans are now gaining purchasing power. For more, let's welcome in Senior White House Deputy Press Secretary Kush Desai. Kush, great to see you. Happy Saturday. So the inflation report was very positive. We like to see inflation cool. We'd like to see it cool even more. But what it's really saying is that prices are still rising. They're just not rising as fast as they were before. I want to put up the CPI inflation costs here, where people are still seeing their grocery prices up and think it's too high. Electricity still up, auto insurance still up, food is still up, rent and shelter as well. So talk to me about how you combat that from the White House perspective, because I know what I keep hearing is you want to put more money back into people's pocketbooks to help with these rising costs.
That's exactly right. Look, since day one, the Trump administration has been focused on two things: lower inflation and bigger paychecks. And yesterday's inflation report showed just that. The rate of inflation has fallen. Annual core CPI inflation has actually fallen to its lowest level since 2021. And real wages are up nearly $1,400. And that means roughly half of the purchasing power that Americans lost during the Biden era has now been recouped in record time in just 1 year. This is just the beginning. Look, the president's policies are only now beginning to take effect. The president last summer signed the biggest tax cuts in American history into law, and only now are Americans in the midst of the biggest tax refund season in American history, with no tax on tip, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. So as these tax cuts, as our rapid deregulation, as our trade deals continue taking effect, you're going to continue seeing Americans' wages grow faster than the rate of inflation, and for Americans to get better off in real terms.
We actually have a full screen of that, of real wages and how much they have gone up. You can put that on the screen here, what Kush is talking about. It's up now 1.25% from January of 2025 to January of 2026. And you guys are hoping that's going to continue as we expect this economic boom that the president keeps talking about. I want to shift to these tariffs because the president has been talking a lot about how he's got the right policies in place, the right data points. But we had 6 Republicans in the House that sided with Democrats to rebuke the president's tariffs on Canada, at least. It's a blow to Trump. What is your message to those Republicans and those Democrats?
Look, I'd say two things. Number one, President Trump is the indisputed leader of the Republican Party, and you should always be on President Trump's side and the American people's side rather than staking an ideological position otherwise. But secondly, look, we have been hearing for the past year about how tariffs are going to jack up inflation, cause economic catastrophe, the next Great Depression, things like that. And what's happened? The average American tariff has increased nearly 7-fold in the past year. Inflation has come down. Economic growth has actually accelerated. We just saw Q3 GDP come in a full point above expectations. And we're seeing trillions of investments continue pouring in to make and hire in America. We saw that in the jobs report, where we saw robust specialty construction trade growth because these factories are coming in line, these manufacturing facilities are being built. So the fact of the matter is that not only have tariffs not done the damage that the experts have been saying that they would do, they're actually delivering a lot of wins. They helped the president deliver on these most favored nation drug pricing deals. So
you've got some competing messaging, though. I think that's the problem, right? It's the messaging, maybe. And the president's brought this up, too. This is AOC, actually, at the Munich Security Conference just yesterday, talking about tariffs. And she had a huge audience here when she said this. Watch.
I don't think he can institute not just the tariffs, but the rhetoric towards our Canadian neighbors without consequences. This is the most powerful seat in the free world, and we can't just say anything and do anything and pretend that it's a joke and that it doesn't have real consequences.
How does this White House break through that type of messaging?
Look, I mean, the president is the deal maker in chief, and negotiations often are tough and contentious. But the reality is that Canada's side, the president has used tariffs and his rhetoric and his negotiation style to now secure over a dozen historic trade deals that have leveled the playing field for American workers. And we're starting to see our exports surge and our trade deficits decrease. We're starting to see companies invest trillions of dollars to make and hire in America after doing the exact opposite for several decades. So the fact of the matter is that the tariffs are working. We're focused on continuing to deliver for the American people. And if AOC wants to be focused on rhetoric, these other made-up things, then she can do that.
So you're saying the proof is in the pudding. You've got the numbers on your side. Are people going to feel it by November?
Absolutely. Look, they're already starting to see their real wages increase by, they saw them increase by nearly $1,400 over the past year. And as these investments continue pouring in, as we see more robust private sector job growth, which is what we saw in last week's jobs report, I think the American people are going to feel it in their paychecks where it matters the most.
Okay. Kush, great to have you on the program and live in studio. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.